you tried to play me for my dough, you got to go. I kicked him like space. Oh, send me out of here, I am, I'm gonna splatter like Scrappy.
It's no secret that the PlayStation 2 was at the top of its game in the early 2000s, dropping hit after hit after hit. The system is still the best-selling console of all time. Needless to say, among the mountain of hits the PS2 possesses, there are still gems hidden within. And today, I thought we'd take a look at one. Sandlot's 2002 mecha action game, Robot Alchemic Drive, or RAD. Known in Japan as Gigantic Drive, or GD. But RAD's a cooler acronym, so I'll just keep calling it that. Inspired by 60s and 70s robot anime, RAD follows the adventures of a bankrupt young heir or heiress of a weapons company as the Earth is invaded by alien robots known as the Volgara. Using one of three of the company's robots, the protagonist must fight back to save the Earth. It's a game with a unique control style and a deep commitment to its over-the-top aesthetic. Somehow without needing all of this, RAD manages to let you get a sense of scale and weights with a good old DS2. RAD's Super Robot influence is worn on its sleeve and can be seen all the way down to its control scheme, inspired by Tetrogen 28 Go. Today, we'll be focusing on the design process and development of RAD. With that being said, ready your rocket punches and save that city. Believe it or not, this game's entire development process came out of shaky time for Enix, who hadn't partnered with Square yet, but was the game's publisher.
It's the spring of 2001.
At this time, games with online modes and services were really starting up, but they cost an arm and a leg to implement. While they had created some of the best RPGs ever, Enix didn't have Sony money, or Nintendo money. They didn't even have Sega money. Not even Sega had Sega money.
Oh my god!
Despite being seen as a big company at the time, mistakes in the prior 2 years really put Enix on the defensive. The next entry in their Golden Boy series, Dragon Quest VII Fragments of a Forgotten Past, was set to come out in 1999.
It's a heavy marketing campaign that set the hype train so far off the rails that according to an archived article from IGN, a research firm predicted that it would sell 3.8 million copies and its release would save the Japanese economy.
That's pushing it a bit, don't you think? That's a bit too much. So of course, with that much riding on the game, unfortunately, Enix missed that 99 launch window completely. So much so that it released after the 99 fiscal year, which caused the company's stock to plummet in early 2000.
Dragon Quest VII was delayed time and time again as developers wanted the game to be perfect enough to match up to the hype generated, but also because the team was working with about 35 people at the time.
Dragon Quest VII eventually did sell off the shelves, going over 4 million copies, which beat out that prediction. I don't know if it saved the Japanese economy, but I know it's gotta be a good victory after a 40% drop in your stock the year prior. So good on Enix. Unfortunately though, these delays did have a domino effect inside of Enix, which led to their next release, Dragon Warriors Monsters 2, to follow the same path. Intended to release sometime in 2000, multiple delays saw the game miss the year completely and come out in 2001. Okay, not bad, right? They missed the fiscal year again, one, and also this cool new console called the Game Boy Advance released, which was selling like hotcakes, and it was already making waves by the time the game released. Okay, by this point, it was clear this is a trend that Enix didn't want to follow. I mean, who could blame them? Two other projects had missed their release windows back to back, and the process of going online to the realm of the internet was costly, and it was getting harder and harder to save money. During the final stages of Dragon Warriors Monsters 2, which is a mouthful to say, Enix reached out to Sandlot and sought for them to develop what would eventually become RAD. It was a smart choice. I mean, hell, it was a lot better than taking another chance to have a three-peat of missed fiscal years. Imagine a three-peat of that, 3 times in a row. Who are you, Michael Jordan? Sandlot was a fresh company at the time. So fresh, in fact, and the company was formed in that same spring of 2001. Made up of a combination of vets from the now defunct Human Entertainment and Fresh Meat, the company looked to have a lot of promise. Human Entertainment was known for trying a lot of new genres and different playstyles, like they were trailblazers in the industry. Known for games like Fire Pro Wrestling, the Clock Tower series, as well as inventing the first rhythm game and first 3D open world game as well. How do you just have that under your belt? Those are two groundbreaking genres, my guy. How do you the first for both of those? Come on, make it make sense. So no doubt it was a big shock when Human Entertainment was forced to close its doors in early 2000 because of bankruptcy. Can't escape them all. Can't escape them all. Under their previous management, veteran Sandlot members had also worked on Human Entertainment's 1999 release, Remote Control Dandy, which would serve as the soul and essence of RAD. Remote Control Dandy was a PS1 mecha action game that really embodied the soul of what RAD would eventually turn out to be, with the advent of PS2 technology. Composed of vets or not, Enix was still taking a pretty big chance on Sandlot, considering they only have one release under their belts, and it was a demo to boot. Takoki Mikazuki Trial Edition was meant to be a tokusatsu action game based upon a TV show of the same name. Despite the demo's release, the game was prematurely cancelled rather early in development because of, and get this, the show's ratings were so low that it'd be nothing more than a waste of money to produce.
Oh my...
Do you know how bad you gotta be for your tie-in game to get cancelled? You've seen tie-in games before. They don't gotta be good quality. While the network saw as a waste, it wasn't all a waste. After all, Sandlot got a really good working demo off that. The engine Sandlot crafted in particular for Takoki would be the engine they'd use for RAD. Improvements of the Remote Control Dandy that utilizes more buttons, more inputs, and a much larger city with more details than what you could expect on a PS1. As stated before, RAD's major influences come from 60s and 70s mecha anime. I mean, it's no secret, look at the robots. Most of this influence is spurred from Go Nagai's Mazinger Z, Ken Ishikawa's Getter Robo, and Mitsutaro Yokoyama's Tetrujin 28 Go. Mazinger Z clearly, and I mean clearly rubbed off from Favel. I mean, look at its aesthetic, its color scheme, like it even goes down to its moveset. In terms of Getter Robo, the choice of 3 different mechs fill the role of 3 different forms of a Getter. Favel is a jack of all trades, similar to Getter 1. Don't mention the fact that it can't fly. I don't care. I swear to God, I don't care. If you mention the fact that it can't fly, well, just keep your eyes open because I'm going to mention the second one. The comparison keeps going. Don't worry, it doesn't stop here. Laguel. That one serves as a fast flyer of the 3, relying on speed and spindly little arms like Getter 2. And finally, Glang. Glang fits the role of Getter 3, the heavy armaments, the tank treads, like it's meant to be the big bruiser. You know, it will finish the job if you need to finish the job. Outside the mechs, there are many characters that fit the roles that you've probably seen in regular 70s Super Robot anime. I mean, hell, dude, the female protagonist wears a goofy colored outfit that she does because she's inspired by those shows. What a weeb. How are you a weeb in the future? You're out here a president of a company and you're like, oh man, I gotta wear my pink and my yellow because I gotta be like my anime characters. Go power robot, nerd. Okay. RAD has a goofy cast of characters that I'll be sure to dive into later because I love them all. You can't, like, there's nobody in RAD you can hate, and it's made even better or worse depending on how you feel of the North American dub that we got because, oh boy, that sure is something.
Mika! Mika! Hang on! Keep breathing!
Money.
Huh?
It makes the world go round. Money.
Hospital is full, but the casualties keep mounting.
Kind of soup. What's in it? Bread? Bread? That's what's in the soup? I dice bread, fry it in oil, then boil it in water. It's a proper meal. It's called bread and water soup.
Trust me when I say that RAD's got a motley crew of characters that will get a laugh out of you, whether intentional.
If you punch for holding something, Mega Knight will throw what's in its hand. Don't throw the bus.
or not. As bad as that is to say.
Grandma! No!
If you're looking at the character designs and you feel kind of reminiscent of something similar, then you'd be surprised to know that the team at Sandlot actually recruited the help of Toshihiro Kawamoto, the esteemed character designer on Cowboy Bebop, Gundam the 8th MS Team, Golden Boy, and many others. Tensujin 28 Go's control scheme serves as the kind of basis and plot point for why the game plays the way it does, which another video I have to dive into later because, oh boy, if you thought the background of this game is interesting, just wait till I talk about the gameplay. I could talk hours about that. Production began right away, with the team really focusing on making a game that was fun for new players to get into, while rewarding, tantalizing, and challenging for those who wanted to really sink their hooks in. According to an Archive Game Zone article written before the game's North American release, one of the biggest issues with the game was getting a good feeling of the sense of scale between a human being and the giant 50-foot mech beside them. And I will say that they really cover that really well and really make it feel natural.